we're going to be making a shirt and a knicker. So it's a common thing that is raining now. So I'm going to be showing you how to cut and then sew a dress and a knicker. So the first thing we are going to be needing, we're going to be needing our basic measurement, which is our shoulder, our bust, our waist, the length of our shirts. So those are just the basic measurements we are going to be using. So I'm going to make use of an Ankara print. So this is my Ankara print. So this is what I'm going to be making use of to sew the shirt and knicker. So now Ankara has pattern. All Ankara, as you know, has pattern. So you need to work according to whatever pattern your Ankara is having, whatever pattern. But this does not have any busy pattern. The pattern is just a normal, usual pattern. So now I folded my fabric. I folded my Ankara fabric. So what I need to do now, I need to get my length. So the length of my shirt is 25 inches. So this is 25 inches. 25 inches. So we're measuring 25. I hope you can see. So the length of my shirt is 25 inches. Then as usual, you know your bust is going to be divided by 4. Your waist is also going to be divided by 4. But because the bust is the largest part of our body, that is what, and it's a shirt, it's not a gown, it's a shirt. Because and shirt, top, anything you are sewing, as long as it's just the upper body's part, the bust is the bigger part of the measurement. So my bust is 34 inches, sorry. My bust is 34 inches. So 34 inches divided by 4, I'm having 8.5. So 8.5, I'm going to add 2 extra inches of allowance. Now the allowances depend on you. You can add 1 inches, you can add 1.5, you can add 2 inches, but it does not exceed 2 inches. So that's because I'm not going to be lining the fabric, so I don't want to be having too much of allowance inside. But as usual, there's a saying that says it's better to have more of allowance inside than to have less allowance inside, just for future purpose, or for future purpose, just in case you end up adding up, you can just lose it out and and shape it to your shape. Or you want to give someone else, your sister or anyone around you, and the person is bigger than you, you can just loosen it up and shaping it back to their preferred measurement. So my bust is 34 inches divided by 4, which is 8.5 inches, plus 2 extra inches. I'm going to be having 10.5. So I'm measuring 10.5 here. Okay, so this is my 10.5 inches. 10.5, exactly 10.5 inches. Now mind you, I'm cutting the front. This is just the front and not the back. So okay, so we've placed the back now to the front. This is the back. We've placed the back to the front. Now the back is usually bigger than the front by 3 inches. Now you can make your shirt as stylish as you want. You can make it anyhow you want it to be. You can say, okay, you want the back to be by 3 inches, 2.5 inches, 2 inches, any one of your choice. But I usually make my 3 inches. So it's usually 3 inches bigger than the front, or 4, 3.5, but 3 inches is the standard. So So now this is my front and this is my back. So before I will shaping this, if I'm going to shaping this, I need to put a placket in the front, you know. I need to put a placket in front. Now this is my choice. I can use another fabric, you know, to turn it in, but on this particular fabric I didn't add extra, because if I'm going to use a placket, if I'm going to do a bottom facing, the overlap in front, I'm supposed to add extra 2 extra inches. Well, because I want to do it as a standard, you know, standard way of making shirts, so I'm going to cut extra. I'm going to cut it 2 inches separate. So this is my front and back. I'll keep them aside. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the 2 inches that I was talking about. So this is going to be divided into 2. This is the front. So this is where it's going to be. It's going to be here. Now at this point, this one is optional. You can decide to add it to your fabric itself. You can decide to add it to your fabric itself, whatever you want to do, but it's optional. But if you want to do it like this, it's still okay by you. But I didn't add it because I want to add it separately. I want it to have that look. So I'm going to iron gum stay to it, the paper stay. I'm going to iron paper stay to give it firmness. Now this fabric is strong on its own, but I'm still going to iron paper stay to it to give it firmness. So as usual, it's always good to label your fabric so as to avoid mistake. You have to label it. So I'm going to mark where this one is going to stay. So I'm going to be putting it here, so that when I want to join, I know where I'm putting it. So I know where I'm putting it to avoid error. So before then, I need to place this one on it first. I need to sew to iron it, to put gum stay on it, attach it to the fabric before I shaping my neck. Before I shaping my neck. So hi guys, so after attaching our front placket to the dress, to our shirts, this is the front. What we need to do now is we'll place it on the back and draw it closer. So now this is our front and this is our back. So we need to measure our armhole, our shoulder, our bust, and so on in the shirt. So what we need to do for we to measure our armhole, you see this back, you flip it over like this. Look at what I'm doing. This back, you flip it over like this, and you are going to measure your armhole. So the armhole I'm making use of is 8 inches. This is 8 inches. Remember, you are measuring it from the top of this place. My shoulder is 7.5. So this is it. Then after doing that, what we are going to do now, we're going to shaping our armhole like this. So after shaping our armhole, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to measure our bust. So the bust is 34 inches divided by 4 is 8.5 plus 2 extra inch allowance, which is 10.5. So exactly I'm having 10.5 here. And my waist is 26 inches. 26 inches divided by 4 is 6.5. 6.5. So this is my shoulder. 6.5 plus 2 inches, 8.5. So I'm having 8.5 here. So shape it. So after shaping it like this, then we're going to come to the neckline. So now because it's having a collar neckline, I'm going to be using 2.5 inches. 3, okay. It's just 3 inches by 2. Then I'm going to slant the shoulder by 1 inch. As usual, the back neckline has to be 3 inches by 1. I'm also going to slant it because our shoulder is not straight. Our shoulder is not straight. So after doing this now, we're going to cut it out. We're going to cut this out now. So having shaped our shirt, what we're going to do now, we're going to join the shoulder together. This is the back. So I'm going to join the shoulders like this now. So after attaching my shoulder, I want to attach my sleeve. So I already cut my sleeve out. I'm going to notch the middle and I'm going to attach it. Also, I've notched the middle of my shoulder. I've notched the center of my shoulder. Then it's time for me to join the sides together. So now after joining the sides together, the next thing we need to do now is a collar. We need to put in a collar. After I've joined the side, I've joined the sides like this. The next thing we want to do now, I want to attach our collar. So now we have to measure around neck. What is this? the end of it, I'm having 15 inches. 15 inches is my gown collar neck. So now, next thing we are going to do, we have to cut our collar. This is how it is. Our round neck is 15 inches, right? So we're going to be cutting 2-piece collar. I'm going to be cutting 2-piece collar using round neck of 15 inches. So now the first collar, which is going to be at the down part, is going to be 2 inches. Then the other one, which is the collar itself that is going to turn over, is going to be 2.5 inches. So I'm going to be measuring 15 inches. Now 15 inches plus extra 1 inch for turning in, so that will be 16 inches. Now this is one piece. I'm cutting the other piece. Now the first piece we need is the collar itself, the one that is going to turn over, which is 15 inches. But now it's not going to be 15 inches because that one is going to be a little bit lower on the neckline. It's going to be a little bit lower. That means it's going to come inside by 1 inch or so. So what we're going to do now, we're going to fold it into 2 like that. I'm going to be folding it into 2. Then we'll be measuring 7 inches. Let's do 7 inches. So this is it here. What we're cutting now is we are cutting the collar itself, the one that is going to turn over. The one that is going to turn over. And this is length of 16 inches. We'll fold it into 2 like this. After folding into 2, we're going to measure 7 inches. Now this is at 7 inches. Right. So this is at 7 inches. Then what we're going to do now, we're going to curve one side. Slant one side like this. We're going to slant one side. This is 7 inches. Now this 7 inches, it works for all neckline because the collar itself, the one that is going to turn over, is not getting to the main fabric itself. It's not getting to the tiny one at the edge of the collar. It's not getting there. So we're going to be using 7 inches. Then we'll cut. So this is it. It's going to stay at the neckline. This is one. Then the second way I'm cutting is the smaller piece. Remember I said we are cutting a 2-piece collar. The second one I'm cutting is the smaller piece. Now the smaller piece, which is we are still making use of 16 inches. But now instead of using 2.5, we're going to be using 2 inches. So we'll be measuring 2 inches. Now this is it. Then we're going to fold it like this. We're going to fold it like this into two. Then we're just going to give it a nice slant at the edge like this. Just a nice slant, a little slant. It does not have to be too obvious. Just little slant. Get it? Just a little slant. Then we'll divide this into two. Now this is the one that is going to be on underneath, and this one is going to be on top, like this. It's going to be on top, and this is going to be underneath. So we are going to put interfacing. We're going to cut our interfacing. After interfacing it and giving it a nice good press, this is it. I'll interface the two sides. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sew this on each side like this. Now after doing it like this, sewing it, I'm going to iron it. I'm going to cut the edges. Flip it inside out and iron. After pinning it, we're going to go to our sewing machine and we're going to sew like this. So we'll push this one aside. While doing this, you have to take your time. So after ironing this, we'll pick up our fabric, our shirt itself, and we're going to notch the middle. So this is the middle. Then remember, we've already notched the side. So then we start pinning. And when we get to this edge side, what you do next is push this a little bit inside. And we start sewing. You have to be careful so you don't wash. Just take your time while doing this. You get to the other side, you flip over to the other side. You repeat the same thing, pin. So this is what we have. So we're going to go to our ironing table. We are going to iron this. So the next thing we are going to do is going to go to our ironing table. We are going to iron this. So iron it, to flip this over, turn this, and so. But let's iron it first. So I've given it a good press. Look at it. I've given it a good press. This is how the outside looks like, and this is how the inside looks like. So now what I'm going to do is, from the inside, I'm going to top stitch it. Look at the side I folded. You can see. So I'm going to top stitch it like this, straight down from the inside. So now this is how our collar looks like. You can see how nice it's sitting. So this is the inside. See the way the inside fine. Try. And this is the outside. So this is how I'll be flipping it. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to fold it down. So our shirt is ready. Color. So now we'll be creating the buttonhole. So we're creating a buttonhole. We determine where we want it to be. I think it should be here. So this edge here, to measure 2 inches. From here we're measuring 4. So I'm going to put the buttonhole and I'm going to put the button. Then that is the end of the class. So I'm going to wear this for you to see how it looks like on my body. Thank you. I'm going to wear this for you to see how it looks like on my body. And I'm going to give it a good price. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to share my video. Give me a thumbs up. And see you next in class. Thank you and God bless you. Love you.